Hi everybody, it's Tina Plackinger. I'm not going to read today, but I just wanted to kind of say hello and show you what I'm doing while the whole world is isolated, okay? And people really don't know what discomfort is, you know? So many people are so uncomfortable. But anyways, see this beauty? Okay. This is something that was brought on my property amongst many other things back about, I don't know, 5 years ago when I had a contractor working with me. And this thing actually came from the property next door. But what I'm doing is I've tried to get rid of it, and you know, you really can't get rid of something like this, and it's really, really heavy and it's old. My dad used to use these when I was a kid. Okay, they're like concrete, heavy-duty metal, wheelbarrows, steel. So, I've never gardened, but I thought that I would mix it up and see about putting some seeds in there and getting some kind of vegetables or whatever. Okay? So that's what I'm doing today, just, hanging out. I don't know why, but I kind of feel like the world is so uncomfortable with something that I have been forced to do for years. And, that's isolation. It's very cruel. It's really a very cruel punishment. I was told by John Rock that John the Apostle, Apostle John, they when they killed all the apostles, they boiled him in oil, and the Lord saved him. So the perpetrators, were, what were they going to do? So it was like, okay, boiling in oil, isolating and exiling him, put him on a island all by himself with nobody to talk to, nobody to have in his life where he could point at something and say, hey, look, and share something about that, nothing. No, and he was going to die alone too, because nobody was going to be there. He was put. So that I'm just kind of showing you that that's how severe the punishment and persecution of isolation is. I mean, boil in oil or isolate. I mean, they had to pick something. They weren't going to just pick. I mean, they meant business, and that's how punishing isolation is. Somehow I feel better knowing that the whole world is doing this now. I don't know why, but it gives me more energy. So, I don't know. I'm not going to go out and buy a bag of dirt, but I do have some seeds, and I pulled them out, and they're dated. I tithed like years ago on TV. The TV ministries are real important to me because I was so isolated for so many years that's what I did. I watched the evangelists on TV. I know them all. And that's where I was at my stage of this journey. And so I would tithe to their channels, and then they would send gifts. And I would get all kinds of different things from them. What was my point? My mind does that, when I'm just kicking it and talking. I bought these seeds, okay, and I pulled them out, and it says 2014 on them. And you know what? I can tell you, it saddens me because, 2014, that's 6 years ago I bought those seeds. But, they are always in the background of your life. They're always back there messing with the dials and the controls. And they just steal your life away. You know what I'm saying? They just get in there, and 6 years. I'm thinking, no, I just had those seeds for a couple of years, Nah, I had the seeds for 6 years. But that's what they do. So about 6 years ago, there was a little boy that lived up the block. He actually owned Sally, the blue pit bull that I have. And anyway, she had mange, and everybody was so busy watching me. Nobody was watching the dog bleed on the top of the head and the feet. And the little boy, he's 7, so it's like that was heartbreaking to me. Of course, they knew that it would be. So nobody did anything. So I had to step in and ask permission if it was okay if I had gotten the dog treated, for the mange and blah, blah, blah. Bottom line is Sally is mine now. Sally lives here. She's very happy to belong somewhere. But during this time, about 5 years ago, this little boy was hanging out with me. He's 7. And I'm not from the country. We did live in some country homes, but for the majority of my life, I've been, city, big city. Well, I say the majority of my life, I've been gang stalked for 18 years, so I don't know. But so anyways, he's over here because, they use children. They use kids. They use mothers, they use their kids. He's over here, and we're talking, and we're digging holes, and I'm planting some Leland cypresses that are supposed to grow 3 feet every year. I planted these things like 4 or 5 years ago, and they have not grown 3 feet every year. So it's like, well, okay, don't tell me that. Of course the nursery was in on it. Everybody's in on it. Everybody's in on it. You know what I mean? It's a program. It's a program. And so he's over here, and I got this hole dug, and I say to him, he's 7, and I don't know that much about kids. I don't have children. I chose not to have kids. So, but he just astounded me that day because I said, "Okay, now hold on, because I gotta put the dirt in there first, and then put the tree in there, and then we'll put more dirt around there." And he looked at me. He was really calm, and in his southern accent, and he was like, "Is it dirt or is it soil?" And I was like, "Oh, I don't know. It's got to be soil." So I don't know if this is dirt. I don't know if this is soil. But I'll tell you what. I'm okay. I'm okay. I live very alone, very isolated. Very difficult for somebody who was very public, But that's how it is, and that's what it's about. And by God, I'll carry my cross. So what choice do I have? To commit suicide? I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that. That's what Treading on Serpents, the book I wrote, is all about, because we go to some really deep, dark places in our isolation. When they put Apostle John on that island, and he was exiled until the day he died. He was going to die, and he was going to, that's it. There was no burial service or anything. The only difference with that and today is that he lived out his penance, or whatever you want to call it, his persecution. He did it. Okay. And he was very alone. Today, there's 1,000 eyes on you. It's like they watch and almost feed off the energy of you in exile. So I'm going to plant a couple of seeds here. I've got nothing to lose. Somebody said nothing will grow because they're old seeds. I got nothing to lose then, do I? It's this big wheelbarrow thing that the garbage guys won't even take, okay? And you can't roll it on somebody else's property down the road, because you're watched 24/7, meaning me, okay? I'm watched 24/7. I'm sure you are too. But the front tire is flat, and it's busted off the frame. So where am I going with this thing? This is perfect. This is perfect. I'm trying to do what Jesus does. He takes what is meant for evil and uses it for good. So I'm going to plant, I think, some green beans and some beefsteak tomatoes and see what happens. You know, just I don't need a whole ton of stuff. You know, I just want to, hey, if I can grow something and actually eat it, I'm going to make a video on that because that's going to be pretty exciting to me. You know, really. Yeah. So, anyways, we stay in the fight. You know, we focus on Jesus. I don't know if this virus thing is for real. I don't know. I don't. I don't know if it's for real. I have close friends. I have a handful of friends, TI friends that are close with me. And, you know, they believe that it's a hoax. I don't know. You know, Trump presented the Trump peace plan to Netanyahu the end of